Hello gamers and welcome back to the second part of this amazing run. We're starting straight with opening the treasure bag and getting a shit ton of Luminite and a bunch of useless items except for the Celestial Onion. Luminite means I can get the Celestial Tracers as well as a brand new armor set, the choice naturally being the Solar Flare set, and finally the Stellar Striker, which is a true melee weapon that acts like a lunar flare. There is another true melee weapon that I wanted to get before Moonlord, but since I called it a day back then, I decided to retry this fight during this stage. This fight was just hitting, dealing a lot of damage while also getting hit, running, regaining HP, then hitting again like a truck and repeat. The fight was a total success, and even better was that I got the Gilded Proboscis from the first bag, so here we go, one boss defeated, more to go. You might feel that this part of the game is a bit rushed, and you might be right, since the only things that I do in this episode will be to go somewhere, get a kill, eventually get some upgrades, and make a new arena, get another kill after failing 100 times, and so on. For instance, right now I am trying to defeat the Guardian so I can progress even further. The fight has been going so good so far, but I had no idea what was waiting for me. It was the third phase. The problem with this part of the fight was that I could barely hit the Guardian, and when I could I was also getting hit heavily. Eventually I died. But since I was determined to finish this run, no matter the pain that I was about to endure, I kept on trying this again, and there I was, during the third phase again. There were a few moments when I could get to hit the Guardian without needing to yell like a child when getting hit, then it was just dodging. Eventually, after repeating this process for a few times, the third Guardian was done for it. Here we go, the second boss defeated, but there were the easier ones. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Warbanner of the Sun, and I wasn't about to fight the Chicken Nuggets again, so I suppose we go for the next boss? Well, what I can tell is that the next fight will take a while, so I will not commentate. There we go. As the animation started playing, I knew that one really hard boss has been defeated, so I could progress even more. I was looking at the animation, waiting for the main character to spawn and eat the crystal like there's no tomorrow. There it is, I cannot wait to fight it and fail like 100 times to it. I didn't get the Holy Collider from the first bag, so as I did after Cryogen, I decided to risk my money and buy one more bag, and there it was. The next activity was to mine Willy Bloom, which I did twice since the first time I quick trashed all the Willy Bloom like a total idiot that I am. Then with it, craft the Elderberry, which gives 25 extra HP, being the third health upgrade. The next task was to get the shit ton of Polterplasm, so there I was in the dungeon, swinging the Stellar Striker endlessly, not realizing that in a span of 5 seconds I got 2 warnings from the game regarding Poltergeist. However, don't die horses when dogs what, so there is Poltergeist, and not surprisingly at all, the horses died. I didn't really get to check the Poltergeist True Melee experience, so I went again to the dungeon and started killing enemies, so naturally Poltergeist spawned again, and oh god, I couldn't get to hit it at all. Well, at least I got to craft the Mutilator, which I didn't know it existed before. Then I also remembered that the Cherished Sea Locket exists, so I suppose that it's time to go for Argus in the Desert Dimension. Despite a few close calls and me not being able to hit the boss a lot of times, first Infernum exclusive boss has been defeated. Now, since Poltergeist cannot be defeated at all, you might guess where this is going. This was the part of the game where I actually prepared for the Devourer of Gods fight, skipping both Poltergeist and the Sentinels, as I kinda do lately. I fought the Nagis again since I really wanted the Warbanner of the Sun, and there it was. One task complete, more to go. This was probably the worst task, clearing the planetoids and the floating islands. I think I hate this more than making the arena for Plantera or Poltergeist. Even worse is that the process is not even worth it since the fight is as bad as possible. I will let you enjoy a fail montage. Motherfucker, here we go. Finally, this took way too much. I felt like the rogue experience all over. Finally, I can get a lot of new upgrades. I start by getting a better crafting station, namely the Cosmic Anvil. Then the first thing that I craft is the Enforcer, an insanely good True Melee sword. I could also get to use the Stolen Murasama, which kinda barks right now, what the fuck. Then, I suppose it's the invasion time, starting with the Pumpkin Moon, then the Frost Moon, then finally the Solar Eclipse, which almost got me killed. This way, I was finally able to craft a lot of accessory upgrades such as Thanos Glove, better boost to flex with when I get out to touch some grass, and a cool shield. But not only that, I also got to craft a brand new armor set. However, there was one more accessory that I didn't mention yet since I didn't have one of the most primitive accessories from Calamity Mode. This is the robot driver and you get it in the very first minutes in a let's play. I wanted to craft the sponge but lacked materials, so I supposed to the dungeon. This way I could also defeat Poltergeist since the Murasama was just deleting it. Yep, the fight went just as expected. Now that I had the Polterplasm, I could also get the sponge, which was essential for me. Then straight to the jungle where we embark on an epic gamer mining session, the goal being to make an arena for the Yharon fight. It didn't really take ages to make it, and in the end I was kinda ready for the fight, so let's see how this goes. From what I can see so far, I get to hit Yharon only when he's dashing into my ass. Well, this might not be that bad. Yeah, turns out that I was totally wrong. That was really bad. This got me to realize that, oh baby, it's time for someone to pay taxes. Here I am fighting Yharon while summoning the Destroyer in order to hit it with the Enforcer while projectiles spawn those getting to hit Yharon too. This might actually be a really good strategy, so let's see what happens next. Reaching the second phase I see, well, this strategy is actually working. I got to do this for a few more times and this was the worst fail, so what comes next is the entire fight. Enjoy. There we go, Yharon defeated and I almost died to the fireballs. I don't even know what to say about this one. Once again, I found a cool way to cheese a boss fight in Infernum mod. Rest in peace to the hundreds of destroyer defeated, keep in mind that the number will double soon. For now, let's just open the treasure bag and see that we get the Dragon Rage. Bombokla! We move on to yet another mining session, the goal being to get as much auric ore as possible, and after a few minutes I was crafting the altar of the accursed, hoping that the fight won't take ages and that I will finish this as soon as possible. Again, I used the destroyer cheesing strategy and this was the first attempt. During the second one I got a bit more far, but this was taking a while and I was working more on regaining HP rather than getting to hit Supreme Calamitas. I realized what I hadn't earlier. I totally forgot to craft the Auric Tesla armor, so here I go I suppose? Yes, the armor set made a difference. I kept doing the same thing all over and this was my worst fail. Other than that, enjoy yet another cheesy fight. There we go, the beach has been defeated too, so maybe I can get to enchant my true melee weapons. Well, I can, but I cannot get the Lecherous enchant which I wanted. Well, I guess we're taking on the Exo Mechs without any enchant. I'm a true gamer, I don't need enchants, I need boss summons. I also crafted the last HP upgrade which I totally forgot about earlier, and for the first time in my life I crafted the Purity, which does a lot of things related to HP and regen. It's time for the Exo Mechs, and as usual I will go for the Thanatos plus Twins combination. What I can say is that the Dragon Rage just melts Thanatos, simply one of the best weapons to use against this annoying ass worm. This fight was going so far so good to my surprise, despite being unable to summon the Destroyer for that extra damage and HP, but then it happened. It respawned and that was it for me. I couldn't get to hit it, so I suppose this run is over, guys. I tried it once again, and the only times I got to hit Ares was when it was spinning. There was no way in hell I was surviving all of that bullshit over and over, so I guess I can consider this challenge failed? Well, not that fast. I remember that I can try another combinations. How about we check the Ares plus Artemis plus Apollo combination? I was going for the Thanatos Twins combinations and had to survive all of Ares bullshit like a total idiot up until now. Here we go, the Exo Mechs have been defeated as well, so let's get to the Traden Forge and craft the ultimate epic gamer Minecraft sword. Unfortunately, I still had to get the burnt sienna, which is a pre-armored sword, so I suppose I will create another world just to get it. This went just as we would expect, probably one of the most frustrating and boring things to happen at the end of a challenge. Finally, I was able to craft the ultimate true melee weapon, the Earth. I wanted to test it, so I tried Jared, which by the way I defeated defeat it using the Dragon Rage, I wanted to show you how powerful this weapon is, and there was only one way to do so. The boss rush was the best way to end this challenge run, and it has been going so good so far. I got past some bosses that I used to have trouble with during this let's play. I also got past the Joe Old Duke, which used to destroy me in the past Infernum runs. Then I also got past the Empress of Light, which is just insane. I was really hoping that I will get somewhere with this boss rush event, but then it happened. Retinaza's desperation phase and me not being able to hit or dodge. This could have been an incredible run, but I'm not trying this boss rush thing again. Well, 90 hours and 20 minutes sounds like a really good time to me. Yet another Infernum Mode challenge complete. It's time to take a break from all of this insane stuff that I have been doing lately. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and also become a member if you want to spam the blue emoji in the chat.